Hi, I'm Holly Jackson, host of By the River here on ETV, and I'm so excited to be interviewing a very special guest. It's Bambi Daniels from The Great American Recipe, and it must have been such an exciting time on the show. She has South Carolina roots. Now, right now, I guess home is North Carolina, but let's talk about the South Carolina part.
Okay.
And that's where you grew up. Tell us a little bit about that.
I grew up in Chester, South Carolina, which is 45 minutes away from Charlotte, North Carolina, going south, and 45 minutes away from Columbia, South Carolina, going north.
Okay, we're going to claim you here in South Carolina. I know what the driver's license says right now, but we're going to claim you here in South Carolina, okay? All right, so you grew up on a farm where there was lots of food. So I imagine that's where this story all began. Tell me a little bit about that and who some of those key players were and what some of those key foods were.
Okay. Well, I grew up actually on two farms. My grandparents, my maternal grandparents had one farm, and then my father had a farm on his homeland, which was in Blair, South Carolina. So we would go between both because nobody lived on my father's, well, our homestead. So him and his brother would raise vegetables, cows, goats, everything you can imagine down on that land. And my maternal grandparents in Chester, South Carolina, raised pigs, chickens, and all types of vegetables. What I remember growing up is that we never went to any restaurants. We never went to McDonald's. That was unheard of. So we would always eat from the land because my grandmother would say, you aren't going to eat out the store. That's what she called like eating in a restaurant. So she would cook dumplings, chicken and dumplings, and my grandfather was the main cook. So he would cook fresh vegetables every single day. And then my dad would, go down to the homestead, Davis Farm, and he would, slaughter the cows, and we would have fresh beef. And we had goat's milk that made soap and all types of products. And that's what my childhood was.
Right. Yeah. Well, talk about the Great American Recipe and the friendships that were made, because what I love is that you all are from all over. You represent different countries, different states when it comes down to it. But you have this commonality, which is a love for food. So tell me about the friendships that were formed through this experience.
It was amazing because this is totally different from any food competition, because they allowed us to tell our stories. And we are more, together, we have more in common than we have, apart, being different. Our ethnic backgrounds, our culture makes us different, makes us unique. But our stories make us one, make us a human race, so make us America. And I'm telling you, that's what made us great.
So talking about that commonality, and that really, it just brings everybody together.
Yes, because not only the food brought us together, but our stories. Because everybody had that similar story about their grandmother did this, or their mother did this, or their granddad took them fishing, and when they had catfish for the first time. I mean, everybody had a similar story. So
people have those types of memories, and they typically include someone very near and dear to them. So I imagine there are times when it gets emotional.
Oh my goodness, we cried so much on this show. And reality TV is reality TV because the cameras are always there. So when we talked about our past, and we shared about our hurts and our ups and downs, it brought us closer together. And I think it was shocking. This is my take on it. I think it was shocking to the producers that we came thinking that we were going to compete, but we ended up becoming family, and we were helping each other because we had shared these stories. And it was like, I can't compete against this person.
I love
this is my sister.
Right. Oh, I love love that.
So we ended up helping each other.
Like you said, your family.
Yes,
and I love that. And that's what food does.
Yes,
it brings us together.
It
Beautiful, beautiful stories. We're so excited that you stopped by ETV. I know life is busy right now for you. But
yes, and I'm loving it.
Coming. And you can see Bambi every Friday night, 9 o'clock on ETV, The Great American Recipe, starting on June 24th.
Yes.
We'll see you there.